What's going on, people? Guns blazing back at it again, and we do have a new box dropping in a couple of days, and that mini box is Resonance of Contrast. So today we're going to take a quick look at it, and I'm going to be explaining most of the individual cards that you'll see in this box, and if it's worth it to get it. Alright, so first up, it's going to be a mini box, meaning there's going to be 80 packs in the box. I'm going to try my best to give you a logical and practical perspective on each card. Not saying I know everything though, so take it with a grain of salt. First up, we got Snipe Hunter, the first ultra rare in this pack. And a couple of things about this card. It doesn't work with Dark Worlds because this is a cost. It's not an effect, so don't think that you can use this with Dark Worlds. It will work in a Dark Necrofear deck because you can fuel up that Dark Necrofear summon. Otherwise, it's pretty bad since the destroy effect isn't even guaranteed. You're going to want to make use of that discard if you want this card to be worth it. Next up, we got Red Eye / Dragon, and this text is really small, so I'll just read it out for you. So the fusion requirements are 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon and 1 Warrior type monster. When a Red Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target 1 Warrior type monster in your graveyard, equip it to this card as an equipped spell card with this effect. The equipped monster gains 200 attack. When a card or effect is activated that targets a card you control, quick effect, you can send 1 equipped card you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon as many monsters from your graveyard as possible that were equipped to this card. So I believe this will be one of the most viable fusion monsters yet, which isn't a very high standard to be honest, but it does have potential. It's meant to be used with Guardian of Felgrand, so hopefully you picked one of these up from the event. There's also one that you can get from leveling up Mokuba. So the reason it combos well with Red Eye / Dragon is because it can be used as one of the fusion materials and it can be used as the equip. And then when Red Eye / Dragon is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon your Felgrand and equip Red Eye / Dragon to your Felgrand, making them butt buddies. So the quick effect can negate any targeted effect on any of your cards at the cost of sending 1 equipped card you control to the grave, which is decent, but it doesn't rule out all of the other back row that are running rampant that don't actually target your monster. So I think it will be decent, but not amazing. Next up, we got Phalanx Pike, an equipped card that gives your monster 900 for each card in either graveyard that has the same name. Now, equipped cards in general have been weak for a very long time. We haven't seen them in the meta for a while. They disappeared around the first KC Cup, which is almost a year ago. Now, I don't think this card will change anything, so a monster equipped by this will generally be 900 or 1800 stronger. Keep in mind that there is no boost if there are no monsters with the same name in either graveyard. But one deck that can run this that comes to mind is Harpies, because Harpy Dancer, when it's in the field or on the graveyard, it's considered Harpy Lady. So that's one way to get multiple cards of the same name in your graveyard. Next up, we got Defense Draw. It won't protect your monster the same way Howled Life Barrier or Waboku does, since it only prevents battle damage to you, not all damage. And we got Paladin of the Cursed Dragon, which is interesting. It's a 1900 zombie which goes 2100 under Wasteland, but I'd actually consider running this with Posthumous Army instead, since that skill turns all your opponent's graveyard monsters into zombies, meaning you can swoop in and special summon one of their monsters. Skill Successor is better than, let's say, Reinforcements or Inspiration because you do get another use out of it from the graveyard. But those cards were never used though, so I don't expect this one to be used that much either. Kunai with Chain is better, but obviously more expensive at this point. Void Trap Hole, I do want to get into this one a little because a lot of people will probably get baited by this card thinking it's really good when it's actually pretty bad. Lots of conditions that you have to meet. First of all, your opponent has to special summon a monster. It has to be 2000 or more attack, and it has to have an effect. So this cannot be used on normal monsters. Let's say your opponent special summons a Blue Eyes. So that makes it a really situational card. Dakini has already been nerfed, so that's even less of a reason to run this right now. At best, it's side deck material. You wouldn't want to be running this on the ladder where there's going to be a lot of decks that you face that don't even have a monster that will fulfill this requirement. As for Bujin Yamato, we'll discuss all the Bujins as a whole later. Dawn Knight, another knight added to the Elemental Knights family, another garbage card added to Duel Links. This one's for the light type monsters. Next card, Paladin of Dark Dragon. So it's interesting, we got a Paladin of White Dragon except for Red Eyes instead of Blue Eyes. And it can be any Red Eyes monster. I don't really see this being any good. Paladin of White Dragon wasn't even that good. Okay, Royal Command, moving on to the rare cards and the normals. So this is some continuous flip effect negation. Best case scenario, this will be like tournament side deck material. I don't think it's even that good or relevant for that to happen though. Okay, Luster Dragon. As soon as I saw this, I thought, hey, some more Last Gamble Desert Twister material. So now you can either search a Wind Monster, this card, or an Earth Monster, X-Saber Piranha with your Blue Dragon Summoner. Feels good, man. But apart from that, pretty big stats. Maybe you'll see a peak performance deck or two. Otherwise, this is not going to make too much of a splash. 1900, we've already hit that benchmark a long time ago. Sacred Crane. Okay, if this is special summoned, you draw a card. So you get stuff like Powerful Rebirth and Photon Lead to accomplish this. Whoop-de-doo though, because yes, you do get to draw a card, then what? What is this 1600 garbage with no further effect gonna do for you? Next card, Vampire's Curse. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can pay 500 and special summon it during your next standby phase. When you do, it gains 500 attack. Interesting card. That's actually not too bad of an effect. Also goes well with Vampire Grace. Let me pull that up for you. Because this card can also get special summoned if Vampire Curse does. And you can get her into the grave thanks to Gazuki. Who knows, that might be a thing. I don't see it being too crazy though. Rainbow's Veil. Makes a monster negate stuff it battles with. Nothing too crazy here. I say if you want this kind of shutdown effect, then there's better ways to do it. For example, Ancient Gear Beast, Citrine. Okay, so you got a Flamvell Searcher, Flamvell Poun. You're not going to be getting any Poun if you play this card, trust me, because Flamvells are bad. Alright, Daybreaker. Let me tell you one thing about the Daybreakers. They garbage. Photon Lead. Okay, first of all, keep in mind double summon is already a thing. So this card does have a few advantages over double summon. It's quick play, so you can summon on your opponent's turn. It's only a rare card, so it's cheaper to get than double summon. You can use both Photon Lead and double summon on the same turn, since Photon Lead is a special summon. But I think this card was included mainly so that you can special summon Daybreaker or Sacred Crane and get their effects popping. Then you realize they don't even do anything worthwhile, so currently this is garbage. Trial and Tribulation. Okay, you might be thinking, let's use this with Cyber Angels, but to be honest, this card doesn't do anything for Cyber Angels that Cyber Angels doesn't already do for itself. Okay, so there's only a couple of other normal rarity cards I want to talk about before we move on to the Boojin Boys. First one being Sand Gambler. And this might see some play in luck on your side decks, which do pop up every now and then. It does have higher defense than Time Wizard, so it can hold up under a Mirror Wall, which that deck usually runs. And then you got Find, which does work with Dark World, so you can potentially get a Rainbow combo off on your opponent's turn. So who knows, it might have some potential, since it makes Dark Worlds potentially less one-dimensional. You can have some counterplay to your opponent's plays on their turn if you set this. Okay, so the Boojins. You got Yamato, which is an 1800 beater that allows you to pull a Boojin from the deck during your end phase and then send one card to the grave. So that's usually another Boojin that you send to the grave since they get popping in the grave. You can only control one of these Yamatos at a time though, so that's a pretty big limitation. Next up you got Boojin Arasudo, which can be special summoned in face-up defense mode from your hand if you get one of those Boojin banish effects popping. Then during the end phase you can draw one, discard one if you added a Boojin card from your deck to your hand during this turn. And again, you can only control one of these at a time. So these are the effects that you can pop from the grave. You got Boojin Boar, which lets you switch one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls to defense and makes the defense 0. And Centipede lets you kill off one of your opponent's spells or traps. Then you got a couple more Boojin effects that pop not from the graveyard, but by discarding them from the hand to the graveyard. And this one, when you discard it, you can target one Boojin you control and it can attack your opponent directly that turn. And then you got Abyss, which allows one of your Boojins to have piercing damage. Apart from that, you got the Boojin Sword, which can recycle those effects by unbanishing a Boojin or by adding a Boojin from your grave to your hand. You got Boojin Mirror, which is pretty much a worse anti-magic arrows. And you got Warg, which protects your Boojin monsters while it's in face-up defense position. And last but not least, you got Pavo, which you can discard when one of your Beast Warrior Boojins die, allowing you to special summon one Boojin from your deck. So a couple of important questions I want to answer before I end this off. Will Boojins be good? In my opinion, I think they'll be okay, but nothing amazing. I don't expect them to be as good as, say, Glad Beasts were when they first came out, but I could be wrong. Only time will tell. Maybe I just don't see the potential. And last question is this box worth buying? Now, in my opinion, for now, if you're a free-to-play player, this box can and should be skipped. I don't see any of these new cards making a huge impact, or becoming, you know, the next new strongest deck, that's just the safe way to go about it. If it turns out that Red Eye Slash Dragon or Bujins are good decks, then it actually won't be too hard to complete those decks. One mini box will get you 1 Slash Dragon and 2 Yamatos, which will usually be enough to make their decks work from a budget perspective. Alright, so that's it from me today. Check out the stream later tonight for some action at 8:11 p.m. EST. See you guys there. Hit me up with a like if you enjoy content like this. Hit me up with a sub if you want to see some PvP action, which is what I usually do. And remember, if it ain't cringe, it ain't guns blazing. Have yourselves a good one. Okay, this is actually a decent hand. As long as I pick up Celestial. Either Celestial or Tribute to the Trash. Wow, you're going defensive? I swear, if this guy's running Yomi ship, he's just a straight tilter. Oh, I got Xing Zhen. That's beast. Crystal Seer? Nani? View Tuna. And another Crystal Seer. Real? Gonna set another card face down. And Batage. No! Don't touch me, bro! Don't touch my win con. My only win con. Alright, Tribute to the Doomed, please, come through. Come through one time for your boy real quick, or Celestial, please. Thank you! That's all I was really asking for. Alright, now let's pin, because pinning is winning. Ah, the satisfaction! Mirage.
Fucking.
That's so annoying, dude. Okay, I'm gonna Tribute to the Doomed, discard this, pop off on this one right here, and I'm gonna call it a turn. Fortunately, we only got one pin going. I don't know if he's gonna pay for that wall. He's a little pansy, he would have paid for it.
Be gone!
Nani?
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Guns.
Where'd you get that quote from? Thank you, Sad Bakura. That's enough for a Big Mac meal. Is that a Creative Timmy quote? Oh! He didn't see that one coming! Brother, we won a game! We took one home with Aitsu! Brother!
Panic boom!